Title: The Deposit. Jalen Brooks wasn't the kind of 12-year-old who got nervous easily. He was sharp with a comeback, quick on the basketball court, and smart enough to keep up with kids 2 grades above. But that Saturday morning, as he stood outside the wide glass doors of Crestmark Bank on Fremont Avenue in Tempe, Arizona, his palms were clammy and his breath was shallow. It was his birthday week. He had just turned 12. And today was a milestone, his first solo deposit. In the front pocket of his hoodie was a small envelope holding exactly $220. Birthday cash from Aunt Maxine, Uncle Tyrone, and his older cousin Donovan, who worked double shifts at the auto garage. His mom, Dr. Camille Brooks, had driven him to the bank but stayed in the car, giving him one last nudge of encouragement through the rolled-down window. "You've got this, baby," she said. "Walk in there like you belong." "Because you do." He nodded and gave a nervous smile. The Arizona sun was bright and relentless even in the mid-morning. His sneakers, still dusty from last night's pickup game, squeaked faintly as he stepped inside. The bank was quiet in that slow, sleepy Saturday kind of way. A man in a checkered button-down was tapping his phone at the kiosk. An elderly couple murmured to each other in the waiting chairs. At the counter, one woman was finalizing a transaction while her toddler gnawed on a deposit slip. Jalen stood behind her in line, fidgeting. He checked the envelope for the 5th time, reading his own scrawled handwriting. J. Brooks, Savings. He'd practiced his signature 3 times the night before, not because anyone asked him to, but because it felt right. The line shifted. The woman and her toddler exited. The teller, a stern-looking woman with graying brown hair and a name tag that read Marcia Delaney, didn't look up. "Next," she said flatly. Jalen stepped up. "Hi. I'd like to deposit this into my savings account." Marcia finally glanced at him, then immediately down at the envelope in his hands. "Where did you get that kind of money?" He blinked. "It's my birthday money. My aunt and cousin gave it to me." She leaned forward, peering suspiciously at the bills. "Do you have a state-issued ID?" "No, ma'am. Just my school ID and my account number. My mom opened it with me last summer." Marcia exhaled through her nose, already exhausted by the interaction. "I'm going to need to verify all of this," she said, eyeing him like he was holding something stolen. Jalen felt a tightness in his chest. "I can give you my account number." She didn't respond. Instead, she picked up the phone next to her computer. "I'm calling the manager," she said. The man at the kiosk had stopped tapping. The elderly couple had paused their conversation. Jalen reached into his backpack for the blue savings booklet his mom had given him, hoping it might help. But Marcia was already on the phone, throwing occasional glances his way, lips pressed tightly. When she hung up, she gave him a look like he had failed a test he hadn't known he was taking. "Someone will be with you in a moment," she said curtly. A tall man in a charcoal gray tie emerged from the hallway. His name tag read Thomas Rivera, branch manager. He approached with a rehearsed smile. "You're making a deposit?" "Yes, sir. Into my savings." Marcia spoke without being asked. "He says it's birthday money." Rivera glanced at her, then turned back to Jalen. "Do you have your account information?" Jalen handed over the booklet and the slip of paper. "I don't have a state ID," he said softly. "Just my school one." "I'm 12. 12? Huh? Came in on your own?" "Yes, sir. My mom's outside." Rivera nodded. "Can I see the money?" Jalen passed over the envelope. Rivera counted the bills carefully. $220, correct?" "Yes, sir." Marcia muttered, just trying to be cautious. "You never know these days." The words hit like a slap. Jalen didn't say anything. He didn't cry. He just stood there, small and embarrassed, while strangers watched. Rivera finished counting. "All right, give me a moment to verify." Jalen waited silently, throat tight, eyes burning. He remembered something his mom always told him. "You're not the problem, baby. You're the reason someone else gets to grow today." But it didn't feel like anyone was growing. When Rivera returned, he handed back the slip. "You're all set. It's gone through." "Thank you," Jalen whispered. As he turned to leave, Marcia said under her breath, "Better safe than sorry." He froze. Outside, a pair of eyes had been watching. The door opened, and in walked a woman whose presence made the air change. Dr. Camille Brooks didn't need to raise her voice. She wore a slate blue blazer, her heels tapping sharply against the floor. Her gaze was calm but fierce. She walked directly to her son, placed a hand on his back, and asked quietly, "You okay?" Jalen nodded, but not convincingly. She turned to the counter. "Good morning," she said evenly. "I'm Dr. Camille Brooks. Jalen is my son." Rivera stepped forward. "Yes, ma'am." Everything's taken care of. That's not what I'm here to talk about. I watched my son walk in here proud, prepared, and polite. Instead of guidance, he was met with suspicion and humiliation. Marcia flushed. I was just following protocol. Your protocol includes interrogating a child with birthday money? Asking for state ID from a 12-year-old? Rivera interjected. Dr. Brooks, I assure you. She raised a hand, calm but firm. Do you know how many accounts my firm holds with this bank? I run Brooks Educational Consulting. We've trained over 300 students across this city in financial literacy, most of them black or brown. Many of them walk into institutions just like this and are treated like suspects before they even speak. The room had gone silent. Even the toddler earlier had stopped fussing. Do you ask every child for a state ID? Or just mine? Marcia's voice dropped. That's not fair. It wasn't fair to him. He came in here doing exactly what adults beg kids to do. And he was punished for it. There was a shift in the room. A few heads nodded slowly. Jalen looked up at his mother, not in fear, but in awe. I'm not here for an apology, Camille said. I'm here for awareness. She turned to Jalen. Would you like to say something? He hesitated, then stepped forward. I came in here to save my money, he said. I didn't expect a party, but I didn't expect to be treated like I didn't belong. I had my account number, my school ID, and I stayed calm the whole time, even when it hurt. Marcia looked at him, finally, her expression softer. I misread the situation, she said. And I'm sorry, Jalen. Rivera nodded. You're right. We should have done better. Camille asked, ready to go? Jalen shook his head. Not yet. Can I do the deposit again? Rivera blinked. It already went through. I know, but I want to do it right. I want to fill out the slip. Hand it over. Feel like I actually did it. Of course, Rivera said. He handed him a new deposit slip. Jalen filled it out neatly, handed it over. Rivera stamped it. All done, he said. Let's go, Camille replied. As they exited, the building looked smaller. Jalen still felt a weight in his chest. In the car, he buckled his seatbelt and stared out the window. Why did she look at me like that? He asked. Camille didn't rush her reply. Because she decided who you were before you even said a word. That's not fair. No, it's not. He looked down at the empty envelope. I didn't do anything wrong. You didn't. But sometimes the world reacts to who it thinks you are, not who you really are. He thought for a moment. Would she have asked all that if I were white? Camille's jaw tightened. Probably not. They sat in silence. I felt like if I got upset, it would just make it worse. You did exactly what you were supposed to. You stayed calm. You spoke your truth. You weren't mad I didn't say anything? I was proud. He leaned back. I wanted her to feel small. That's understandable. But the goal isn't to shrink others, it's to open their eyes. He nodded slowly. So this might happen again? Maybe. But next time, you'll be stronger. And maybe they'll be better. He looked out the window. A little boy was walking into the bank with a piggy bank. I hope he doesn't get treated like I did. I hope someone like you is there for him. He smiled. Do you think I made a difference today? I do. You walked in with pride and left with dignity. That changes people. Next time I go, he said, I want to go alone. Good. You should. And I won't second-guess myself. Because you belong. He opened the glove box, placed the empty envelope inside, and shut it firmly. No point holding onto something empty. Camille laughed. You really are your father's son. You say that when I'm being clever. I say that when you're being wise. The bank disappeared in the rearview mirror. The numbers in the booklet didn't matter as much anymore. What mattered wasn't written on paper. Halfway home, Jalen spoke again. Do you ever get tired of proving yourself every time you walk into a room? Camille didn't answer right away. All the time. I didn't even do anything wrong, but it felt like I had to defend myself. You did. And that's what makes you powerful. I don't want to be angry all the time. You don't have to be. Anger is a warning light. What matters is what you do with it. So what do I do with it? You carry it the right way. Let it sharpen you, not harden you. At a gas station, she stepped out for water, tossing the keys into his lap. Jalen looked around. This time, he wasn't scared. He was ready. When she returned, he took a sip and said, the hardest part wasn't her questions. It was the look on her face. Like I didn't belong. Camille squeezed his hand. That's how they try to make you disappear. But you didn't. No, he said firmly. I didn't. As they pulled into their driveway, Jalen looked at her. Can I say one more thing? Always. I'm not just going to remember how they treated me. I'm going to remember how I responded. She smiled. That's the lesson. That's what makes you unstoppable. He got out, backpack slung over one shoulder. Next time, he said, I'll bring Jordan or Micah. Show them how to handle it. That's what leaders do. Then I guess I'm a leader now. He stepped into the sunlight with the stride of someone who knew exactly where he was going.